Hi ladies, this is Carla. I'm glad you stopped by my channel today. I want to share with you a project that I decided to make for myself. I've been wanting one of these. It's a yearly organizer for birthday cards. And I made the box, so I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I made these little tab folders to go inside where you can put the name of the person who's having a birthday for that month plus the date. And then that goes all the way through the 12 months, and then you can add your cards. Now, one adjustment I will be making. When I first took my measurements for this, I measured it to be 7 inches. Okay, what I was thinking was that I was going to leave this across here and add a little tab to the top of that would stick up above the cards. Well, what I ended up doing was using my We Are Memory Keepers tab punch board, and so that took it down, and therefore my 5x7 cards are a little bit too large for the way I did the tabs on these folders. But what I'm going to do is adjust the measurements so it will work with a 5x7 card. And this works fine with your A2 cards. So if you make mostly A2 cards, you may want to make your folder only 7 inches. Or after you get your box together, you can see how tall you need your divider folders to be. So let's get started. We're gonna move this out of the way. And you're going to need chipboard. Now, I ordered my chipboard from Amazon, and it's a medium weight, and let me tell you, it is a very sturdy chipboard. So to start out with, you're going to need one piece of the chipboard that measures 3 inches by 5 7/8. Then you're going to cut 4 squares that are 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Now, with this being such a heavy chipboard, I use my guillotine paper cutter to cut it with. And if you have an X-Acto knife, that's what I would recommend too. I really would not recommend using your regular paper trimmer on it because you're going to dull your blade really fast. So we'll put these aside for a second. The other thing you're going to need are hinges. So I just took plain craft paper, cardstock paper, and I cut 8 pieces of craft cardstock that measure 5 3/4 by 2 inches across. And then I took my scoring board and I just scored down each one in the center. So you just go over 1 inch and score. So those will fit nicely and evenly. Now, the way I came about the instructions, I guess, or the way to make this box was I started thinking when I had made purse tutorials in the past, sometimes the paper was not sturdy enough to really keep the corners together. It would split. So I had added hinges. So I thought, well, that would be kind of like making a box, and you know, kind of like you think about when you make your albums, you sometimes put hinges in there to hold things together. So that's what I thought I'm going to do. So what we're going to do next is get 1/2 inch score tape. If you have 1 inch, you could use that if you want, but I'm afraid it might just hang over, and I used 1/2 inch on the other, so I think that's what I'm going to stick with. So I put one of my 4 and I put one of the 4 of 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 in the center. The sides will be the same, and the back will be the same. Then for the front, we'll add this little 3 by 5 7/8 at the bottom. Now, as you noticed on my box here, I made, the sides, diagonal. So I'm going to show you how to do that with your chipboard. You're going to want 2 sides that are going to measure. Get my ruler here. Gonna keep the 5 7/8 at the top. And then you're just gonna take your pencil and you're gonna come up on the side 3 inches and make a little mark. Okay, and then you're gonna come up to, I'm gonna go ahead and draw this line for you. I'm gonna come up over here. Okay, here, I'm not sure I had that in the camera. You're gonna put your ruler here, come up 3 inches and mark that right here. See that okay? And then what we're gonna do is, where we made that line, we're gonna come up to this corner, right in the corner, we're gonna line that up with this little dot we made. So it's right in the corner on that dot, and we're simply just going to draw a line, just like that. Same thing, you've got a diagonal going like that. Let me measure this again, make sure that's 3 inches. That looks pretty tall to me. No, that's right. Okay, moving along. To take another square from the other side, and we're going to do the same. We're going to measure up. Oh, I am so sorry. My husband got me a new little tripod, and I'm trying to figure out where to put it and not bump it and get the best picture. So we're going to come up again 3 inches. Mark that. Again, we're going to come up to the corner right here. And line it up with that little dot. Swing it up there. And again, draw your line. Now I'm going to take that to my guillotine paper cutter and I'll be right back. Okay, have those cut. And like I said, if you don't have a guillotine, an X-Acto knife would work just as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this centerpiece, and I've shoved this back piece. Let me get that out. There we go. I'm going to take each side piece, and they're going to be like so. And then we're going to have the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add double-sided tape to both sides of these little hinges, just like so. I'm going to put it right up to the score line. Like I said, if you have inch tape that you want to use, you know, that would probably work too. And I guess what I could have done is maybe made my hinge just a little bit wider than an inch, and then I would have known for sure I wouldn't have that issue of it all sticking off the sides. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll return. So now what I'm gonna do, I've gotten the score tape on all of my hinges, and this one I got a little bit farther away from the score line than I wanted to, so I just added like an 1/8 strip of score tape to that. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go and I want to add a hinge under every flap. So I'm going to take the score tape off here. I'm going to get this just right up to that score line, and you'll have a little gap in between, and that's okay. And we're not going to fold anything yet. We're just going to add it to the back side. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, get my little pokey tool. And let's remove the score tape backing off of this one. Take this one off. Take this one off. I'm going to take the bottom. This is the bottom piece. And I'm going to take it and I want to put it right on that. There's a little hanging off each side, and like I said, that's fine. You want to put it right up next to that score line. Real close. I want these hinges to hold this box together. That's good, and I'm going to flatten that down. There you go. And I'm just going to leave this one flapping, okay? Then we're going to take this one, do the same thing. Take off the backing. And then we're going to do the same thing with this side. We're going to take it right up to that score line. There, and just lay that down and flatten that out. We've gotten that one just a little bit too close. I want it to be able to fold, and you're going to have room for that other one on there. Okay, I think that's good. So we've got 2 hinges. Let's do another one. You don't want it right on top of it because you're going to have another little piece coming in, oops, from the other one. And then we've got one more to add to the front. I'm glad I tried this. Oh, I didn't even take that one off yet. Let's go ahead and see if I can put that right back on. We can do it, but I'm not ready for that one yet. Okay. Same thing. Put this right up next to that score line. Not on it. Flatten that out. All right. Now, do you see where we're going with this? Okay. I was going to use that one. Doesn't matter. They're all the same. Let's take this backing off. I'm going to use this for the back. So we're going to just kind of lay this in there. Just even it up. Down. And we're going to fold that hinge in the back. Show you how we did that. Just where that was folded, we're just going to stand it up like that. Then we're going to take a side. You want your angle, this is the back, so you want your angle coming down toward the front. So let's take this backing off. This going on. Okay, come to the other side. Again, you want that, make sure you've got tall side going to that back side. And if you had a box, you know, that you could cut down that would fit your cards, you wouldn't even have to make a box. But I really wanted to try to do this because I've just always wanted to try to do it. Okay, we're going to add this right in there also. See that? That looks good. Flatten that down. And then we've got the front one to add on there. So we're going to take off this backing. Here where you can see what I'm doing. I took the backing off the wrong one, didn't I? Here we go. Let's take it off here and get our front on. Okay, let's see. I think we're gonna do what's the straightest. It's like this one, same thing. Just come in here, match up your ends, and I don't want it on that score line or we won't get a fold. One thing about using the ATG gun tape, it's easier to reposition. So, but this is done pretty good when I had to take that off, didn't it? All right, let's pull these up. So we've got this going on. So all we have left to do now, all we have left to do now is put our hinges on these back two corners and the front two corners. Okay, now for your front two corners, I guess you would need 8 of the 5 7/8. You would need 2 that are 2 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and put my score tape on those. Get those ready. So these again are 2 3/4 by 2. These are going to be for the front of the 3-inch corners, those 2 3-inch corners. So we're going to do that way. There we go. Or you could have just cut those in half, I guess, those other ones, but that's okay. All right, put this down here. Some of this I kind of learned by trial and error as I was going through it, so I forgot to change that in my measurements. So anyway, you're going to need 6 of the 5 3/4 by 2 inches strips, and you'll need 2 of the 2 3/4 2-inch strips. So, okay, we're going to go to the back, and we're going to fold these up just like so. We'll put our corners together. You can see that. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it in there. Now I'm going to get it where I can see it so I can make sure I get that the way I want it. I'm going to have to put this, and it's not going to go all the way down, and if some of it sticks up a little bit at the top, that's not a problem either, because we'll just trim that off. I'm going to do one side. Let's get one side in there like we did on the others. I've been working on this a few days, so I'm trying to remember exactly. Yeah, we got those in there. Okay, that one's good. Now I'm going to peel off the backing here. And I'm going to stand this up. Fit those together, and we're just going to come around and hold that tight, stick that on, and you've got that corner. And like I said, this little piece up here, just trim it off. We'll be covering that. Maybe a little bit more right there. There. So you've got this nice corner going on right here. And if that hangs over just a little, not a problem. Just trim it off, because like I said, we'll be covering all that. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Take another one of our 5 3/4 strips. Remove the backing. And I'm going to put it right under here, right to that corner. I mean, this would be fun to make any kind of box using this method, I think. All right, let's put that down. I'm going to take the backing off of here. Oh, come on now. There we go. And again, we're going to take this, bring it up to the top, add in. As you can see, we turn it around. Fits perfect. Just take this side and ease that up. And again, I'm going to cut this little part that's sticking out off. There we go. And now all we've got left to do as far as putting it together is we have these little hinges. Now, the way I did it last time, I didn't hinge these until I covered this first. And the reason is because my paper I have, I'm trying to think, did it? Yeah, I start it here and I bring it all the way around to come up over the back. So if I do that, sorry, I'm squeaking my box there. If I do that, and it's easier then to, after I get it all covered, we'll come up here and we'll put the hinges on the inside. So after we cover this and bring it around to cover as much as we can in here, like I said, we'll pull these up and we'll take our little hinges and they're gonna go on the inside. And then we'll add some glue and show you how we'll keep that together. So we're ready now for the next step. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And our next step is going to be covering it. Okay, the paper that I'm using for the outside cover, I have some Anna Griffin Floral. It's double-sided, but it really doesn't matter for this. And then I had some of her borders that I've had for quite some time, and I think they go well enough with that I'll use to go around the bottom. And then for the front, I have one of her birthday sentiment stickers that I'll put on the front. And I've got 4 sheets here, but I think I will only probably use 3. Now that was kind of the little bit of a bugaboo doing this, was trying to find 4 sheets that are the same, because mostly in a paper pad, you know, they may have 2 or 3 the same, but trying to find 4 the same was a little bit difficult to do. So in this particular package of paper that she had designed, she included 4 sheets of the same pattern, so that worked. And then for the inside bottom, I just chose, it looked yellow in my paper pad, but it looks more beigey here, but that's okay because it won't show that much. But I'm going to use that to come inside here just to cover the bottom so it doesn't look, you know, just like the cardboard chipboard. So anyway, what we want to do, let's move these out of the way. We won't need these just yet. For to start with, as I said, the way I did the other one was I cut a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, I cut it, let's see, 7 by 12. So you just leave it, you know, 12 and going this way, I suppose. Move this over. 12 this way, and then I cut it 7 across. Then after that, you're going to use your pattern paper again, and you're going to cut out 2 7 by 7 squares, and that will be for the outside covers of the box. And of course I made it larger so we can fold it over and make our edges up here look nice. So you need 2 of those, and that's it. Oh, for this little piece down here, well, we're going to cover that already, so we've got that covered. So that's all you need right now. Okay, so again, you're going to need 1 7 by 12 designer paper, and you're going to need 2 7 by 7 squares for the outside. So I'm going to cut those, and then I'll be back. So I cut the paper. This was 7 inches across and 12 inches long, and these are the 2 7 by 7 squares. And then we'll need another piece, and I guess I will use all 4 of those designer sheets of paper. And this last sheet needs to be 5 and 6/8 across by 12 inches long. And what this piece is for, it will cover the rest of the bottom, come up over the back, and just fold over a little bit here, and then we'll cover the inside with some of our leftover pieces, I think. Okay, there. All right, let's get started. Now, the first thing I want to do is score the 7 by 12 inches. I want to score it at, let's see, I want to score it at 4 and 6. I'm going to try to do this on my short scoreboard. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to score it at 4. Right here. And turn it around. Pull it down to here. I think that's what I'm thinking I did. So that's not really going to be 4 and 6, is it? It's going to be more like 4 and a second, I'll tell you. I think it's going to be scored at 4 and 5. And that will give you your creases when you fold it around that. So I'm going to score that at 4 and score it at 4 and okay, it's not going to be 5. What's that going to be? You've got 4 and you're going to put 6 more. We'll score it at 4 and 10. Okay, I'll score that at 4 and 10, and that'll give you a 2-inch overhang, I think. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and fold that. You can see I have company. Hello, Molly. She's laying on top of everything. That's just what kitties do. All right, now we're going to go ahead and let's see what we've got here. I'm going to pull this up to where, oops, you may have to scoot over a little bitty. Oh, I know, she's not going to be happy with me. I'm going to put this up on that score line, and when we pull this up, we will be folding that around, and then the back will simply fold up as well. So what I want to do now, I'm going to take my bone folder a little bit. And I'm going to kind of get it off. There we go. I'm going to kind of see where that goes right in there. And I'm just going to kind of run my bone folder along the edges here. This might give it a little bit easier fold. This one isn't going to come up that far, but it worked before. We'll just hope it keeps working for me. I'm going to scoot this back, make that score line come down here as well. And over here. Okay. Now I am going to take my, I think I'm going to take score tape and put just along this edge here to give that a nice, good seal on that edge. So I'm going to do that. And that along up here. Okay. Take that off. And I think I'm going to add another one back here as well. So when I fold that up, it will have a tight fit against that fold down there. And like I said, I'm kind of winging this, but it worked for me, so hopefully it's going to work today. Pull this up. I'm going to fit this right in there, and before I stick that up, I'm going to take some art glitter glue and oops, that's not going to work. Got it wrong. It's got to go this way because we got to cover this. Sheesh, that could have been bad, ladies. We want the big one in front because we have to cover that front. All right. Set this here again, same thing. I'm just gonna make sure we've got the right end on where we need to be. This is gonna be our front, so we want that to be just like so. And now we're gonna add art glitter glue to this. And when it gets up there, I'll probably have to cut it, maybe do a little bit of mitering around here. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna do that, flatten that out. That looks pretty good. Take my scissors and I'm just gonna kind of miter through here. I'll be adding stuff in there so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to cut down here, and I made these little score lines. I'm gonna cut into the box. Right here, I'm going to cut into the box. I'm going to add more art glitter glue here and here. Looks like locked. And here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm trying to take these side ones, fold them in, give them a nice crease. Fold those over. My cat's watching me run my hands back and forth. I hope she doesn't try to get me. This morning I was trying to brush my Persian and she kind of got me a little bit, but got her brushed a little bit. And then we're going to take this side, fold that in, push that glue out. I want that to have a nice sealed edge. There. And I'm going to come around, and where we mitered here, take these and fold these in with my fingernail. Just kind of press those in. And just kind of press it up. That's having a hard time sticking there. I'm going to get this on there. push this over. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. That did really nice. Okay, I like that. Now, we're gonna let that dry. Might need a little more glue under here. I don't know what's going on there. And I'm gonna take my scissors then, and I'm gonna trim this one off a little right there. Can you see where that's kind of in that folding area? So I'm just gonna cut that over to the side. And you may have to adjust, you know, when you're making it. I've had to adjust a little bit because I'm kind of creating this on my own. That looks good, that looks good. Okay, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut up to the box again on these fold lines. And here as well. Okay, now I'm going to raise this up, and I'm going to put some art glitter glue on the bottom here, on these edges. And then we're just going to lay that down. And that should come right up to that fold. I'm going to come in here and kind of press that down. Okay. I'm going to take, I was going to do art glitter glue, but you know what? I think I'm going to take score tape, if it'll fit. 1/2 inch will fit on this side. I may have to get a 1/4 inch on the other side. And put a little bit of glue on this little corner here too. Put a 1/2 inch score tape along this side. I think that would make me happy. And if I have to miter up that corner, that would be no problem. Let's see how that folds up. First. Got that kind of crease there before we stick it. Okay, now let's peel that tape off. Tape covering off. And let's just pull that over and make that stick. There we go. And like I said, I might have to miter down here a little bit. That looks nice. And see, when that comes out, that will be in there a little bit. And we'll have our other paper on going around that. Yeah, okay. I'm talking to myself. Sorry. I'm going to get a 1/4 inch. I think the 1/2 inch is too large for that. So let's take this one. Let's run it the same way. All the way down. And fold it over. Good crease. Bone folder. Give it a good crease. I'm trying not to make this really long, but it may be long, and I'm sorry. Stick with me. All right, fold that over. Okay, stick that on. I think this is gonna need a little trim right here. See that little piece? We're just gonna trim that off. My cat's looking at me like, who are you talking to? It's you, Molly, just you. And I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna right in here and go at an angle to kind of miter that in a little bit. I'm gonna do the same thing over here, just a little bit. And I'm going to fold these sides a little. And I'm gonna put some score tape on this side. Oh, now she thinks she's going to lay in there. I think you're too big, Molly. Molly B. Molly B. I think you're too big. Oh, you're too big to get in that box. And you know the problem, the real problem is going to be when I have to get her out of the box. She's not going to like that. But we're going to have to get out of that box, little Miss Molly. Okay. All right, we got that. Let's give that a little press on that score tape. And remove that. Back in there. And here. Miss Molly B. Now we're going to add some glue to this part that goes on the back of the box, and then we'll stick the rest of it up with that score tape. All right, Molly, this is going up. As we push that up, I'm going to push these sides around. It's not going to be perfect where I scored it, but that tape is really going to help it stick to that. Okay, come up here, stick that on, and this glue will hold that. There's tape at the bottom. Try to get that kind of pointy because we'll be adding to that. All right, now let her lay there a little while, maybe, if you could see what I'm doing. And what we're going to do next, let's see, where are those pieces? Molly, are you laying on my pieces? Oh, here they are. These pieces that we cut 7 by 7, those are going to cover the outside of the box here. You can see that. Ooh, Molly. These are going to cover the outside of the box. So what I'm going to do is, what I did, I made a pattern, and the way I did that, I simply took this box and I laid it down and just traced this on my 7 by 7 square. And that way I knew that I would have enough to cover these edges and make them look nice. So here's my pattern. So I am just going to lay these on here. No. These are for the inside, not the outside. Right. Let's see, Molly, you're throwing me off a little bit. Okay, for the outside cover, let's see, it's going to be, okay, you want to come over from the edge up here. Stop it, 1 3/8. So there we've got 1 and 1 2 3/8. Put a little tick mark up there, and on the side, because we need that angle again, it's going to be 4 1/8. So over here on the side, Molly, we're going to come up 4 1/8. There's 4 1/8. Like I said, this is much larger, but it's going to allow you to have paper to be able to cover what you want to cover. Okay, so there's my dot. I'm going to line it up with that dot, and here's my tick mark. Gonna draw a line. Same thing on this one. 1 3/8. There. And 4 1/8. And again, just attach those two little marks and draw your diagonal lines so you'll know where to cut and have enough paper to cover those top of those sides and the sides of the sides. There we go. Now I'm going to take these over to my paper trimmer and trim those down. The good thing about Anna Griffin is all of her papers kind of coordinate and go together. So I knew I did not have another sheet of this print. However, I found one I think is going to work just fine. It's similar to the pattern. It just has a green background, and I think that will look really pretty with that. So we're going to go ahead and attach that. I did cut them the right way this time. Now this is going to fit up against, we're going to bring it out just a little bit, I think. And we need to bring that around just a little bit, not much. So I'm going to add, I think I'm going to use my, let's see, where's my 1/2 inch? Here it is. 1/2 inch score tape for the bottom of that. So I want that to be nice and snug. And that bottom edge, that on there. And let's see, I'm going to put it up here because there's not a lot to fold over there. No. So I'm going to get that nice and over to the edge and snug. Comes up pretty good off of that foil paper. Let's see if I can get that just really up to that edge. Alright, got that going. And let's put it, I'm going to put it on all of it. So I really want this to stick. I'm sure I'll be mitering some of this. I may even be adding a little bit of glue to it as well. Let's get a little bit across here. And try to get a little bit right in there. There we go. Let's try this one on for size first. And let's see, I know I'm gonna need art glitter glue in the center here. Let's kind of poke my pen in there a little bit, get that cleaned out. Now let's come through here. Quite a bit on there. Okay, now I'm going to remove this one right here first, I think. This little one. I want this big one off because I want to put that on first, the bottom. Get it lined up where I want it to go. And we'll worry about the others. I could pull, no, we don't want that off yet. All right, I'm going to try to see. May not. Let's see. I've got an edge there I don't like. I'm not sure. Let's take that off. I need to get that corner. And I don't know. Still not measured something quite right. Because that corner is going to be very hard to get. I would suggest instead of 1 3/8, I would take that up maybe even 2 1/8, or you're not going to get this corner. If I do get this corner, I'm not going to have any to fold over. See, I can't remember what I did on the last one for sure. I'm going to try this. Let's try. See, that looks way too big for that, doesn't it? We shall see. Let me look at my other one a minute. Okay, I did have that going around a little bit. trouble figuring this one out. All right. Well, we'll just give it a shot, and we may have to make some adjustments. All right, now I'm going to pull off this tape here. Let's lay this down. This one off, the backing. And there's nothing like learning as you go. So I will post all of these measurements and things in my description box, and I will have them all lined out what they need to be. Because I don't know about this. I may have to add a little piece onto this because I don't know how far my back piece is going to cover this. So what we're going to do is, that's not very much there. So I am going to take this little fold here. I'm going to fold it in. I think I'm going to have to miter up on that a little bit. So I get with my scissors. Things are disappearing. My goodness. Am I looking at my scissors and I just don't see them? Yeah, hold on. Okay. Yeah, they were piled under something. I'm gonna give this a little cut right there. Curve that in, a little wedge. I'm gonna fold this in. Now I'm gonna fold this over, and to do that, I'm gonna have to cut down right in this little corner. And I'm going to see if that will come out. This is going to come at an angle, so I remember this. I remember this now. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut in a little wedge this way. Let's see if that's enough. It's going to be good at the top. I'm going to need a little more angle up here. Okay, that works. Pretty sure. That down. That will be covered, so that's good. Put that on. And this little piece, oh, I want that to come over as much as it can, and I don't know. I might have to add some decorative stuff there. But, you know, we can always fix it if it doesn't always turn out. All right, I'm going to bring this down here, like so. All right? That one's not bad, not bad, not bad. So we've got that covered. Now let's come over here and try to do this one. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put score tape around all the edges. Right up to that edge. That would be the bottom, actually. Side. Top, I'm overlapping there, but I really need it on those corners. To here, and come down here, and cross here. All right. And again, I'm going to turn it on its side. See, that goes with that. I mean, that goes fine. That'll even make it Really pretty, having two different patterns there. Well, not patterns, colors mostly. Now let's take our glue. And I'm going to take this bottom one off first. And let's go ahead, put these off. Whoa. Yeah, slung that one. Oh, that's because I had doubled up on it. That's it. That's right. That's right. All right. Same here. Doubling up. Little neighbor boy came over for a while. His mama had to go to the grocery store. So he's quite a bit younger than my daughter, so I can hear rumblings up there. I asked them to try to use quiet voices. We'll see how it goes. They're doing pretty good. All right, so we're going to take this one down. Let's see how we did over here. It's going to be the same thing, I know it. Just need to make sure I get this corner. That's very important, to get that corner. It's down to the bottom. I want it longer. Let's go up. There we go. Nope, not there. Glue under that. To be over there. Not much, but we're gonna make that work. Now we're just gonna press this on again. Come down here again. Take out this little wedge. And fold this in. Remember, I'm going to cut right down to this corner. I might have a little more on this side. So what does that tell you? My measurements aren't real good. The box isn't real straight. I don't know. All right, let's do that. Get that mashed down. And then we're going to try to wedge this out. Then I know I'm going to wedge it out up here more. Let's just cut a big wedge out. Like I said, that's going to all be covered. All right, let's fold this part in so we can get this to come over. Put a little more glue in this. Our glitter glue is so good, but it does dry fast, so sometimes you have to kind of reinforce it if it's taking you a little while to. Oh, you could have taken more off of that, but that will be fine. It will be covered. Now let's bend this over, flatten this down. Size, if that just gives me enough that I can get my cover on, that's all I care about on the back. So put this on first, and I may reinforce that sticky tape with some glue. I think I will. Well, that looks stuck pretty good, but over here, let's give that a little shot of glue up through there. hold that down. Oh, let's see. Just get that to stick. Be okay. Trim that off maybe. Let's put a little glue under this little gap. That going right there. And now let's see. Next thing we're gonna do is take our piece that's 5 3/4 across by 11 and about 7/8 long, and the shorter side's going to go in the front. It's just a little bit shorter, and all we're going to do is insert that, and this will cover. Oh, that's going to, oh, it's a little tight on this side, isn't it? This side works. It's not too bad there. Maybe if I think maybe if I really put some glue in there, if I can get this to stay down, I think it's going to be okay. It's just going to come right up to that edge. So I will know, I'm going to make a note right now that on this front, we want to make that instead of making that 1 3/8, we want that to be probably 2 inches. So we'll make a note of that. Okay. Now I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna glue this. Make sure I got it going the right way. That's the front, and that will come on there. And see, I've got a little room to move that over. I think I'm going to make this work. Getting excited, but do you know what? Do I want glue or do I want tape? Glue. All right, the glue has it. Let's come up the edges. The side and here, on the top and here. Let's get these sides, and this side, down here. Now, this in. I think this was the short side. Nope, this is the short side. I'm not sure which is the short side. I'll pull it out if it's not the right side. Yeah, that's the right side. Now let's push it over here as far as we can get it. I think it's gonna work. There's a little gap there, but I think with some glue, when that dries, that will not have a gap there. Yay, like that. Maybe just a little bit right there. Good enough, good enough. It's the back, right? Okay, got that in there. Now, all we need to do is to add our sides for the inside. Now, the way you do that is you cut 2 5 3/4 squares. 2 5 3/4 squares. And then you measure it at 2 3/4 on the side. And we're just going to glue that in there. See how nice that looks? Well, I had second thoughts on that. Since I lined the outside of the box with this pattern, I went ahead and cut a couple of liners for the inside in the same pattern. So that kind of looks like maybe I meant to do it that way, right? So I'm going to go ahead and attach those. We're just going to put glue on those. Again, those were 5 3/4 squares. Then you come from the corner on the 5 3/4 square side, and you cut down to 2 3/4 on this side right here. Oh, you can't see me. Yeah. This is 2 3/4, and this is 5 3/4. Okay, I'm going to just slide that in right there. That'll fit nicely. There we go. Take this side. Some glue in here. And lay this on the inside. Oh, good. I was worried about those corners there, and that is just fine. Squeeze that down to the bottom best I can. That one's got a little bit, but I don't think it will ever be noticed. And then on this little flap, you have a piece that's 5 5/8 across and 2 7/8. And since this is this paper, I'm going to go ahead and cover the inside with that paper. And just put glue on there. Just down at the bottom as best I can for that to fold up. Put straight along this top here. Just kind of give that a press. And last thing we need to do is to put the bottom in. Let's see if that fits. Yeah, that fits. It kind of coordinates. It's not a perfect match. And this is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Again, I'm just going to add my glue to the edges. Just going to lay that in there, slide it in, flat. And now we're going to take our little hinges, the little ones. These are 2 inches by 2 3/4. And we're going to fold this up. We're going to undo the tape on here. Take that backing off. Now we're going to fold them this way. And we're going to raise this up. And we're going to slide this hinge right along the side right here. And fold this up. And just hook that together. And look at that nice corner that made. That one fit really nice. Then we're going to take the other hinge and remove the backing. And do the same thing. We're going to fold it, come in and attach one side first. Get it as close to that edge as you can. And then pull that other one in. And just hold that till that adheres and sticks together. And look how nice that is. Let's see if I got that glued in there. Push those down. I'm going to put those down and rub that in. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have put the, no, yeah, I should have put the hinges in before I put the paper on. I'm not gonna try to take it off. Goodness, goodness. All right, now we're ready for the decorating for the trim. For the trim, just going to take this rose trim and I put it on the front and I just kind of wrapped it to give it a fold there, and that kind of helps secure those corners on the front as well. So let's go ahead and get some glue on that. Oh, I wish I hadn't done those corners that way, but this is just for me, so I'm not giving you a very good instructional tutorial. Okay, here we go. Which way do those go? Probably down. Down? Yeah, they go like this. I think I had it right. Okay, we're just gonna, like I said, fold that around, that attach. It only takes 3 of these, and I'm not sure, I think they're probably about, yeah, 12 inches long. Make sure that's on there. Here, this way, I want it to be, just, yeah, like that, and just make sure I have my fold. I don't want it to stick out on the side. Let's go ahead and put some glue on this. Some glue on this. Let's set this down. Let's put this right here. That even. Go around the side here. We want that to get a good corner crease. Flip it this way. Oh, that worked out nice. That was that corner where I didn't think that paper was going to be enough. That turned out nice. All right, come over here. I'm going to trim a little bit of this off. I don't want that right there on the corner. There we go. Now I'm going to take this one and just line it up again. Let's start in, let's go under here actually. I don't have very far to go on this one. Oh, I wonder if I can get that up. I can, good enough. I'm going to come and cut this about right here. And I'm going to add glue. I think I would rather have this tucked under than on the outside. So let's try putting this under here, matching that up. help me out just a little bit. Get around that corner. Yeah. Down here. I also want to this matched up. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, let's get this glued on. Glue under here. Under here. Under here. A little more under there since we pulled it up. Let's put some on here. Let's fold this down. Let's see if this lines up. I think it did. Yeah, that is nice. That lined up very nicely. Okay, now I'm gonna go back over there and check that other corner. Make sure this one's on good. Yeah, that looks good. Just had to add a little piece there to glue there. There. Yeah, there's your box. And on the front, I've got this sticker from Anna Griffin, sending you birthday wishes. I'm gonna put that right on the front. Put some, oh, I'm sorry, some glue on there. It is a sticker, but I like to reinforce it with glue. Let's see, let's put that about right. Center it up. Pick up just a little bit. It looks good. Okay, now so here's our cute little yearly birthday card organizer box, and all we have left to do now is to put the little tab folders in. So the box, as you can see, it's covered on the inside. The sides, I kind of like the sides and the inside sides being different colors. I think that turned out really cute, really cute. I like my little embellishment on the front. So now we're going to make the little tab folders. To make the tab folders, I'm going to be using my punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. So we take the little stopper and we just put it in those first two holes. I use the large tabs. I'm going to put this in. I need a left side one for my final tab. I've already made the others, so we're going to take this out now and put it back in those little holes, and we just turn this, and right here it says small, medium, large. You just line up that first punch with that large and give it a punch. Then it has this little cutter blade. Just gonna raise this, put this under here. This thing is so simple, I just love it. This was a good buy for me. I like that. And then we're just gonna slide this in, put that in there in that groove, hold that down, slide it over. Pull this out, you've got your folder. These are little scraps here. Then I cut out from my Cricut. I went to the label section, and then I cut out, well, I found these little labels, and then I went to the section where you really just have to type in each month separately, and I found one in a font that I liked, and every month had that in that font. So that's what I did. This is the font I chose. It really didn't have a name. It had more of a number, and it was a pretty long number, but they have lots of different fonts for months. So I'm just going to take some of my Anna Griffin gold ink. Kind of doesn't really look gold, kind of gives it little distress look, but it shows up better, I think, that way. So just ink around those edges. Then also, on my Cricut, for the nameplate we're going to add, I went in and I found a font I liked and made the word name, and I just put that on, oh, I think it was like a probably 4.5 by, we'll see in just a second. I made a template with a rectangle. Let's see what this measures. This measures about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. Yeah, like I said. And then I just added lines to it. I had to draw the lines. And then I just copied it on my printer. I just made my own copies. And we're gonna try to center that up a little bit. Put that on. Then I've already made these. And this is January. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so we've got January. I did a center one. February, March, April, May, June, July. There we go. And August, September, October, November, and December. So those fit nicely in our little box. Those in there. And I did try a 5x7 card in this one, and it fits perfectly. Gives you plenty of room still to see all of these names of the months above there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I know it was quite a project, and I know this was a long video, and thank you so much if you stayed with me throughout the whole video. I know there were a few little hiccups along the way that took a little more time for me to go back and kind of figure out or study about. But anyway, if you like the video or like the idea, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, I would really appreciate your subscription. My subscriptions are growing a little bit, and I'm just so excited, and we're getting to the point where I'm really wanting to do a giveaway. So hang in there, and until next time, bye-bye.